Well, I did it. Cut a hole in my wall. Built my box. I had to test the AC. Temporarily placed with some plastic to stop the water from soaking into my wood. Let me show y'all where I'm at. Why I did what I did. Today it's about 89 Fahrenheit outside. I just got in the shade recently, which is a good thing. It's a mess in here. It's a mess. This foam is temporary. It's actually what's holding the air conditioner in. When I planned to build, I had just enough room above this window. I pre-measured a 5,000 BTU AC unit. They're all pretty much standard size. I had the width, no problem. I would have about 2.5 to 3 inches on each side of the air conditioner. It was the height. I got exactly 13 1/4 from this treated 2x4 to my top treated 2x4, and the air conditioner was about 13 1/8 or 13 3/16 in total height. This AC worked out fine because I didn't have none of the accessories for it, like the little rails that go on the side and the top. It was all missing from this unit. It was a brand new unit 5 years ago, never plugged in. Someone lost the parts, and it was installed in a sailboat that I picked up. And the guy assured me, hey, I put the AC in there, but I never even plugged it in. He said, you want it, it's yours. So that's where this comes from. It's running on its own dedicated plug. All my 120 volt is ran. I still need to organize everything. I am running off its own breaker box, off of shore power. I have an official shore power plug. Just run a standard extension cord for now. Everything runs fine. Nothing gets hot. Yeah, nothing gets hot. But I do have an actual shore power cable with its own dedicated 30 amp circuit on my house. I was running this unit. Right now this was plugged in just to use the thermostat. I'm down to 68 right now in the shade. The AC has been running for probably about 3 hours. You know, nothing's sealed. The box is not insulated. I plan on capping this with a 1-inch foam all the way around. And this box is going to tie into my ceiling, into my wall. I'm happy with the way it turned out. Now that I know it works good, I need to pull the AC out, seal my box. I'm going to continue with the poor man's fiberglass on the inside of this box, wrap it around to the outside, cap it off, and put a little drain tube to collect the water. Last night I worked on wiring, DC wiring. All this wiring is going to go into my console. I have six switches on my console to control navigation lights. I got everything labeled, and yes, I use 16.3 extension cord, and here's why. I priced all the wiring for the 120 side and the 12 volt side with traditional wiring. I was going to use Romex for the 120 and marine wiring, which I don't really need marine wiring because none of this technically should not get wet, especially since it's a conditioned airspace. If it gets wet, I got bigger problems than just wiring to worry about. But it would have been $800 of wiring. So, I labeled everything every couple of feet. I bought two 100-foot extension cords, $14 a piece at Lowe's. It's a 16.3 rated for 15 amp for my DC side. None of my DC equipment draws more than 3 amps. That includes 4 LED floodlights on one circuit. Is about 3 amps. That's my biggest amp draw. My chart plotter is about 1.5 amps. But my chart plotter is not running off of this circuit. I'll explain that in a minute. This is just navigation lights. Rear floodlights, anchor light, front flood, navigation, porch lights, and interior light. My interior lights will be ran off of my console, one switch interior. And then the rest of the switches control my navigation and outside floodlights, and they're run up through the wall. and they go to various places. Wires are hanging down. You see, this is interior light. I have a combo light. It's a red or white. It's a touch light. The red's gonna help if I'm navigating at night, which I doubt I'll be navigating at night, but it's nice to have a red light that doesn't affect your vision to where you can still see out of the windows and what's going on at night. And I got my wiring run outside. They're hanging down for my floodlights, and my navigation lights are going on the roof. Green on the right, which is starboard, and port is red on the left. And then I got a porch light right above the door, another wire hanging down. I have another wire hanging down the rear door. And so interior lights, I'm gonna have this one red white combo right here in the living space. This light only operates at 120 volts, but 12 volt side, I'm gonna have a 12 volt light above the sink and a 12 volt light in the bathroom. Undetermined location as of yet, because I got a 14-inch vent fan. It's probably going right here, so I'm probably gonna step the light over out of the way of the fan, and this half is gonna be shower, which is outlined on the floor. I just yet to do the build, and I've got stuff everywhere. I did buy all my PEX piping and plumbing fittings, shower drain grills to put on the decks in front of both doors. Not that I'll need it once it's in the water, but on land, the way I have it blocked up, water pools up underneath both doors because I have the hull blocked close to level, and it can't really drain off the sides. So yeah, my 12 volt side for my console is done. I can pull this AC out. I'll talk about it in a minute. I spoke about this AC in a previous video. Well, in fact, the last video I did, I'll speak about it again. I used 200 foot of this extension cord just to wire up my nav lights. Now what's left on 12 volts is going to be hooked into the breaker panel. This is a combo breaker panel. It's a 120 side. It's working fine. It's been operational for 2 days. I've been running various things and testing it. Nothing overloads, nothing overheats. The breaker got up to 90 degrees, but in fairness, it was like 85 in here. So that's not a lot of heat. In fact, right now it's been running AC for about 3 hours, and that breaker is 74 because it's in the 70s in here. Or well, it says 60. My thermostat says 71 on the wall. It says 68 on there. It's reading the temperature from inside of here, which it actually says it's 66 inside of here. I made sure to turn this away from that air was blowing directly inside, and I thought that was altering the temperature. But I would say the outside air temperature, I mean, this is 68 degrees. So that's pretty accurate. It feels very nice in here. I just got in the shade while I was in the sun. See, I'm straight off target what I was talking about. Let me go back to my DC wiring. What's going to be hooked to the breaker box? I have a 12 volt water pump that's going under the cabinet for the sink. I have a 12 volt vented roof fan going there. My 12 volt TV that's going in the corner up here. I think that'll be the best place for it. And I'm gonna have a backup camera mounted right here, giving me a rear view. That's about the only thing 12 volts is going to run off of this box. I think I have 11 circuits available, so I can always add, but really I have a lot of 12 volt stuff. My TV antenna is 5 volts. It's going to plug into the TV if the TV can handle 5 volts. I'm not sure the amps, but it's designed to plug into a TV. But I have a very old 12 volt flat screen TV. It's about 15 years old. I got from an RV from a buddy of mine, and it works great. The buttons don't quite work right, you know. It takes a while to auto-tune, change channels, but that's because the TV doesn't get used. We only use for like a hurricane, a storm where we lose power for a couple of days. We rely on that little 12 volt TV. That way I don't have to fire up the big generator just to watch the big TV and power up my house antenna. I can just run that little one with a smaller antenna, catches locals. Anyway, straight off target. So yeah, that's where I stand with the DC. I chose this wiring because it's more than capable of handling the loads I have. This is a 16-3 wire, and the electronics I have every electronic I have comes with 16 to 18 gauge wiring. Like most of it's 18 gauge. So my wire size exceeds the size of the equipment I'm trying to run. So I think it's gonna be just fine with extended cord, and at 30 bucks for 200 feet, it was pretty hard to beat. I'm actually gonna go buy another 200 feet. It's a very light duty extended cord. But my vented roof fan has a 1.5 amp draw at full load. So I'm confident that wire will handle it as well. I do have a bunch of old extended cord. I have another 100 foot of cord that the coating's faded and cracked up and hard. It's 20 years old, and I abused it, left it out in the sun. I have that I can use, but I kind of want to put new wiring. Even though the wiring is in good shape, so it's a 14-3 extended cord. So I may go ahead and use that just for the fan and the rest of my wiring. That way I don't have to run to town. It's a 30-minute drive to go run the loads to pick it up. So, but again, I would like to have new wiring. So that's pretty much it for my plans for electrical. Once the electrical's done, I'm gonna start on the plumbing. I'm gonna figure out the plumbing, the layout. Before I run the plumbing, I guess I need to go launch this one more time. I plan on putting 3 deep cycle house batteries. Still undecided on location, but I know it has to be in the center of the hall. So I have 2 options. I can cut a hatch access into the floor and put the batteries below. That will keep my weight lower. I could do that. I'm not sure if I want to, because my 2 steering cables run down here. That would be hard to get the batteries in and out and make a hatch because of those cables. I could reroute the cables off to the sides. I would have to apply a couple more pulleys and do a little bit of work, which is not really going to be a problem. It's kind of easy to do. Or I'd have to convert to traditional Teleflex steering, but I really love my old cable steering. It's simple, easy to adjust, easy to make repairs, and you get more lock-to-lock steering travel versus a Teleflex. And I like the fact that I can make a complete turn about a 25-foot circle with the cable steering, whereas Teleflex, I'd probably increase it to a 30-foot turn circle. A 25-foot turn circle, when you're in a lot of wind or rough weather, that every bit of steering angle you can gain is a tremendous help, especially with an underpowered small motor and this cabin being a big sail. Water tanks will go on this side. It's probably going to be centrally located, and my futon, I'm going to build a platform to elevate it above the water tank. I still plan on doing the shower indoors, but before I run the actual piping, I think I'm going to put the water tank in here, fill it up to 20 gallons, put 3 deep cycle batteries, lay on the floor, and go test float and ride, see how it's sitting level. I would like to have, right now I'm about 1.5 inches higher on the bow on the draft, which is good, because when I put 2 adults in here, it's going to drop down almost 1 inch on the bow. So I would like to maintain that with a slight stern squat, fully loaded. So like I said, I am going to have to go put this in the water and test launch. I'm going to bring my generator with me, not because I need to use the AC. I want the weight of the full load. So I'll fill up I got a 3-gallon tank. I'm probably going to get a 6-gallon tank, but 3 gallons you could ride all day in this thing. Still, I'm going to get a 6 gallons of fuel, 6 to 8 gallons of fuel, put that on the stern, plus my generator, 3 house batteries, and my 20-gallon water tank. And I may put 200 or 300 pounds extra to compensate for the interior. But the interior I have is probably, with the weight of the futon, I'm probably looking at 200 pounds more weight going in here. So that's where I'm at. That's the things I've got to do. I'm going to move on to the air conditioners. This air conditioner is a portable. It's a single hose unit. If you got to use a portable air conditioner, this feels really nice when it's right in front of you. First, I had it on the floor where it should be, and from waist down, I spoke about in the previous video, it got cold. I say cold, it got down to 78 degrees when the sun's out, but just waist down. Anything above waist was in the upper 80s. It was cooking up here. And a lot of people's solution is they add a fan to either blow heat down, mix with the cool air, or blow the cool air up to get rid of heat, because heat rises. You can't stop heat from rising. So with this on the floor, it was only circulating the lower atmosphere air, leaving it very hot up here. So being this is a barrel boat, I grabbed the barrel, a piece of ply that was a dropout from, I believe, that window. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's from the front door, because that is Rocco. It was a dropout from this window. Fit perfect up there, and that made a big difference in the environment. With the sun out, yesterday was 89 Fahrenheit. During the day, I could maintain 79, but it was throughout everything. Still ways down, it got down to about 77, but above here it wouldn't go lower. It would fluctuate 78, 79, 78, 79. It was struggling. The AC never kicked off. So once I hit the shade yesterday afternoon, I was able to get down to 74, and then after dark, I'm talking like maybe 11 p.m. The temperature outside was maybe 77 at that time. At 11 p.m., temperature in here got down to 62. So at night, if I only run the AC at night, which was really my original plan, was to have the windows open during the day and just tough it out. And when it gets dark, before the bugs come out, you close all your doors, turn on your AC, wait about an hour, take your shower, and then you have a comfortable night's sleeping with this AC. But this AC is a lot louder. A portable AC is a lot louder than a window unit, and there's plenty of videos explaining why. But the quick rundown: on a window unit, this is your exhaust side. This is outside of your wall, so you don't hear most of that noise. On this unit is right here, and another downfall why this doesn't cool as efficiently as a window unit. For power wise, there's plenty of tests. This actually draws slightly less power than a 5,000 BTU, and this is an 8,000. So efficiency wise, on electricity, this is a better option, but efficiency wise of cooling, this is far from a better option. Now they do make portables with dual hoses to where this exhaust sucks its fresh air from outside, and then exhausts the hot air outside. That's a more efficient one, but you're gonna pay a lot more money. This is like a $400 or $500 unit, and this is like maybe 8 years ago. Now there's probably a $200 unit. But a dual hose model will run you about $1,000, and it's still just as loud as a single hose one, but it's more efficient the way it circulates this air. When this one runs, it's taking the air it just cooled down, it's sucking it through the exhaust and pumping it outside, and it creates a draft. I showed in a previous video, if I crack this door open with that air conditioner running, it would suck the door closed. It would create a negative pressure, which is common with portables. Window units don't do that. Now, this AC, I decided wasn't cutting it. It was good if I only want to use it at night. It was a great machine. The noise doesn't bother me because I always sleep with a fan on anyway. I like the noise. I'm one of those people have to have a fan. The window unit is far more efficient. In the sun, it was 88 to 89 Fahrenheit today with a pretty high humidity of 63. That's actually low humidity for my area, but it's high for other places. Our heat is a humid heat. Well, anyway, I got down to 75 within an hour in the sun, and it slowly started dropping to 72. By that time, my shade hit, and so it's the temperature steady going down. It's maintaining that 68 right now. It's maintaining it nice, and it's quiet. It's efficient. This unit, when it would kick on, it would dim my light. But I also, when I first tested it, I had it plugged into my light circuit, which is only a 15 amp. So then I swapped it to there. It was less noticeable, but when the compressor would kick on and off, the light would dim. This one doesn't do that. And like again, the light's on a 15 amp breaker, and the AC is on its own 20, and this receptacle's on its own 20. So my system can handle what I have. I can actually turn on both air conditioners, and when I kick this one on, it's got a little surge, but they both run and it keeps up. But my little extension cord that I'm using to power my shore power, I've got it plugged into that little white cord. It's hard to see through the screen. That cord is just plugged in. There's a receptacle behind my shutter. It's a 15 amp system. So I'm pulling the max out of that cord. But there's no need to run both of them. But the purpose of running both of them was testing my circuitry, making sure nothing's overheating, everything's doing fine. I do have a big shore power pole. It's laying on the ground right now because my dog will go get tangled up in it with his leash. But there's a hole in the ground right there. I got a plug in it so my dog doesn't step in it. I got a 4x4 stub. But that post is a camper RV plug. That's on its own. It's on a 40 amp breaker. It's on its own circuit. That's what's gonna power this. So I have plenty of power on land to power this. And my little generator, I think it's a 2300 watt pulsar generator. It's quiet. It's cheap on fuel. That's what I plan on running this with. The only thing 120 is one light, which is during the day I probably won't need a light. So I have one light, an air conditioner. I'm gonna have a 2-bank battery charger. 2 of the batteries that I have, which I don't have yet, is gonna be a house battery, and 1 battery is for the motor. And I bought a battery isolator kit, which means when the motor fully charges its battery, any charge past this 13.2 volts is gonna jump over to the next 2 batteries. That way I can keep the battery charged, the house battery, until I install my solar. I do have 300 watts of solar. I may try to increase that to 600, but I really don't need that much solar. I think my little motor is going to be plenty enough. Every light I installed in here is LED. All of my electronics are pretty efficient. With the exception of the backup camera, I don't really know. There's no details and specs. It's a $40 Amazon backup camera. I don't know how much energy that thing uses, but it can't be much because I have one installed on my truck, and sometimes I leave it on for 2 or 3 days at a time, and my truck doesn't go anywhere. I forget about it, and it fires right up. So I'm sure it's not a lot. But yeah, progress is happening. A lot of people don't agree with the extension cords, but man, when I went price house wiring, about $800 for house wiring and some marine DC wiring to wire this up. I have that kind of money to spend, but not on wiring. That's a lot of money. There's perfectly nothing wrong, perfectly fine using extension cords for projects like this. But I had to get it done. I'm happy with the way it's coming out. My wiring's good. Once that's hidden behind the walls, I can do my plumbing. Then my paneling, which is Luan, very lightweight. And when I bought it 4 years ago, it was $15 a sheet. Right now it's $30 a sheet. But I have 12 sheets picked up that's left over from my house, so that's what I'm using. Luan. It's a light wood, easy to work with. You can stain it. It's kind of pretty. All my cabinets are going to be made from Luan and lightweight materials. From here on out, everything has to be lightweight. The only thing that's going to be heavy is my water tank when it's full, my batteries. And of course, I've got a 30 something pound, I want to say 38 pound air conditioner. That weight is up high. What I liked about this, the weight was low. This is a heavier unit. It's probably about 50 pounds. The weight's low, but it requires another piece of equipment, a fan, to blow and circulate the air so it won't be so hot in here. And even when I did put a fan in here to try, that still wasn't enough air conditioner during the day. If the sun was out, it felt good if you were standing in front of it, but if I went over to that corner, it was just stuffy and hot. The fan did help out some. It was comfortable. If you wasn't doing nothing, you could sit down without perspirating. This one I don't have to worry about that. And again, this box is temporary. The box is permanent, but the way the air conditioner is sitting in there is temporary. And I temporarily lined it with some 6mm plastic to stop water from soaking into my wood, because I just had to test this thing out. Nothing sealed up. There's cracks all the way around it. You know, it's just not sealed up. It's just I wanted to get it in here, and once it was 91 degrees in here when I cut this hole. That air conditioner wasn't doing nothing. It wasn't keeping up. I think I got it down to 85 on this half, but over there it was still 91 degrees with the temperature gun. And when I cut the hole, I just figured let me hurry up and cut a piece of plastic. I secured the box with about 6 screws. It's holding the weight fine. Size wise, like I said, I had to run it, and it's been on for 3 hours. I'm happy with it. The box I built sticks out of the wall. I mean, don't count the insulation board, but about 9.5 inches. Outer frame, and it's roughly 16. And I think it's 22 and a half. Oh, 22 and a half the inside measurement. So yeah, I'm 26 inches. The air conditioner, as I mentioned, it required about 13 3/16 by 18 and a half. So on the inside I've got 22 and a quarter space. That leaves me a couple inches on each side, because if you know window units, on the side there's vents, but it sucks fresh air in, and that's what blows out through the evaporator coil on the rear. So you have to allow air to get in. I'll give you a quick look at that. Like I said, nothing's permanent. The air conditioner is not centered. I just threw it in there to get it working. And I did test the temperature. Let me bring my gun with me to show you. I was worried about the heat transferring to my wood and creating a problem, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. I can't open my door away because my light wiring that I didn't finish. Oh, I just stepped on my cord and unplugged it. Power failure. Alright. We're at 115 on the outside right here. 110 to 112 on my wood. And leave the air gap, that's the intake vents. I am gonna build a frame. I'm very close to my door. I didn't realize that close from the inside cutting. I'm gonna build a frame and cover this with window screen to where bugs can't enter. Do that on both sides. And like I said, the plastic's temporary. It's just to stop the water from getting onto my wood. I am gonna poor man's fiberglass the inside of this box. So once I fine tune it and get everything how I like it, I'm gonna poor man's fiberglass it and waterproof it. And it's gonna have maybe a 1-inch thick flange, like window frame around it. I'll see what I can fit around here. And I'm gonna try to incorporate a drain tube to direct the water overboard, instead of right now I have this as a deflector to stop water from piling up on my deck temporarily. And my shore power connection, it's typical camper stuff. My big cable fits this, so I bought an adapter that will plug into my little generator. But this is a screw-on twist lock connection, and this is a standard household plug. And my cord, the temperature, let's see, 91 degrees. This thing's been running for 3 hours at 96. As long as it stays below 120, you're good. This video went on, drug on for a while, longer than I expected. Just wanted to share what I was up to, my planning, my wiring. Somebody commented on a Facebook group that like it's a regulation where my wires have to be tucked up and nailed to the studs and uniform. You know, there's no building code for houseboats in Louisiana. Maybe in different states there's a building code. There's no building codes here. In fact, what a lot of companies do down here, we have a lot of waterways. To build anything on a boat, you don't need a permit. If I want to build an 8 by 12 shed in my yard, I have to go to the courthouse and get a permit. Then I have to get an engineer involved. The engineer has to engineer it, or you design plans, and it has to be approved by an engineer. And then once that is done, you can go ahead and start building. on a boat down here. There's a company down here, a towing company, and he figured out years ago to build anything on the water, especially for a company, he has to go through Coast Guard because all his boats are licensed and insured. For something like this, for a building, he builds all of his offices on barges. You don't have to deal with the government, you don't have to deal with permits, you don't have to follow code, rules, and regulations. Like code, if this was a living space, if I want to make a tiny house in my yard, right now the code is R38 insulation. I have an R value. I asked for 1 inch on my walls. I've got more than 1 inch. So let's say I've got an R10 or R9 or 10 on my walls. I would not be up to code, and I would fail inspection. And closed cell foam is a gray area when it comes to houses and inspections and rules and regulations. Closed cell foam is a R7 per inch, but it outperforms an R30 fiberglass. 1 inch of this outperforms the R30. But I work in the spray foam industry, and some of the things we're dealing with is they want insulation up to code, which is a R38, and some people don't understand exactly how the spray foam works and performs. And to get an R38 of spray foam, the amount of inches you have to spray, no one's about to afford that. On average, down here, of 2 inches is about $3 per square foot sprayed. That's $3 for a square foot. Like this is about 2 square foot. This is $6 right here. If I was to go 2 inches, I'm about 1.5 inches right here. Actually, I probably am 2 inches right here. I had a receptacle here. It wasn't where I wanted it. This is what I pulled out. You know, I pried this out of there. That's 2 inches of foam right here. 2 inches. So yeah, that's about $6 of foam right there. In order to get to it's 1 inch is a R7. So if you do the math, I'll tell you how many inches thick you have to go to get to R38. But if you did go on R38, if you could afford to pay that, that would be a strong house, and it would be very insulated. It'd be like an ice chest, because actually an ice chest has about 3/4 inches thick of this foam in an ice chest. I think a Yeti has about 1.5 inches thick of this, as well as what a Yeti ice chest has. And look how well those retain temperature. And this is the same foam. Same foam is in your refrigerator, your freezers, coolers, ice chests. This is it. So can you imagine this 6 to 8 inches thick in your house? Yeah. Well, that's what regulation is. And again, I'm rambling. So thank y'all if you made it this far in the video and listen to my rambling. And I appreciate the comments, the likes, the subscribes. I'm a small channel. I have slow progress. I do live a everyday, ordinary life. I work during the week. I do a lot of side jobs, so it's hard to dedicate. Like some of them bigger channels, that this is what they do. Not specifically build this, but whatever project they're advertising and you guys are tuning into, that's what they do all day. They edit videos, come back, do some work. You know, of course they can build better things because money's unlimited. Usually those guys are already making money on YouTube from people like you. Y'all are helping them fund them, whereas this is all funded by me. So I can't actually quit my regular job and do this full time, although I would love to build houseboats. I've gotten a lot of interest in this. Quite a few people want to buy this one already. I've been offered $20,000 after it's done, ready to go. One guy locally, before I've done the foam, just a hull, the frame of the cabin with the poor man's fiberglass on it, and trailer. He's ready to give me 12 grand. I'm not ready to sell it. I want to use this. But I did tell the guy if he wanted, when I was done with this one, I'll help him. We'll start building his. We'll get him a hull and a cabin framed up, and he can do the rest. And so I'm gonna work that out. So even once this one's done, when I get free time, I'm probably gonna start building another one for someone else. or I may go ahead and build me another one, sell it. I like the size of this one, but this one's 22 foot of deck. I talked about going 24 or 25 foot of boat. I want to keep it half ton towable. So I don't know where I'm gonna go after this one's done. I'm shooting for the end of June to have this in the water and ready to use and start doing some little adventures, whether it's solo or if the wife wants to come with me. I don't know how she feels about being on YouTube. She's probably not gonna want to be in a video. I don't like being in video very much. Look, I'll turn the camera around. I'll show you. I need a shave. I need a haircut. Got a little beard growing on the back of my neck. I don't really like being in videos. For a long time, I didn't want to put my face on a YouTube video. I mean, I don't think I'm made for videos. Talking wise, I'm not that great at talking. I have speech problems my whole life. I repeat myself a lot, which, you know, my followers that's been around for a while, they've heard. I'm a repeater. I stumble and stutter on words. That's just who I am. I'm not good at narrating a video. And as far as editing, I do everything on my phone. I keep getting comments. Not keep getting. I've got 2 or 3 already from like someone in Russia begging me to please turn my phone sideways or turn my camera sideways. Stop turning my camera. So I don't know if it's the format, but when I do it on this phone, usually when I turn my phone sideways to record and upload the video, if the entire video is recorded like this, YouTube uploads it into a very smaller, narrow format. So that's why I use my phone like this. I don't have GoPros or expensive cameras. I would like to get that, but it's not right now. And editing, my computer's not operational for me to do any kind of video work. So yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. And sorry about the rambling.